What's up, Rad fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Rad DAO Podcast. This is the podcast for people who want to learn to make money good and do other stuff good too. And today's episode falls squarely in the other stuff camp because today we're talking about art, specifically an artist, Wayne Sheppard. Now, Wayne's story is incredible, and you're going to want to hear it from him directly, but imagine yourself just going about your day, having never had a medical issue in your life before, and suddenly succumbing to a seizure. You find yourself waking up in hospital days later with the desire to pick up a pencil and draw. Wayne turned into an artist overnight, and his story has been told across the world, but I want you to hear it directly from him. But before we get there, I have a mission to get this channel to 1,000 subs, and I need your help to do it. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, you've liked this video, and that you've left me a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. You don't want to miss this one. The story is compelling. Wayne is such a compassionate guy, and he wrote a book, so if there's any details that you think you're hazy on or you want to go deeper on, of course, please support Wayne through the Amazon link in the show notes below. With that, family, let's get into episode 14 of the Rad DAO Podcast. Let's go! Wow, I'd like to welcome Wayne Sheppard to the show, and for my audience, I came across Wayne's name when I was talking to the Destiny World team, because Wayne had produced a couple different NFT collections for the ecosystem that they're building over in the Web3 space, but when I started digging into Wayne, it turned out that he had such an incredible story about how he became an artist in the first place that I thought it was worth bringing to the world. So I want to thank you, Wayne, for joining. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing okay there, Kyle. One day at a time. Do struggle every single day because of my condition, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, that's good to hear, but why don't we start with the condition? Because if you're comfortable talking about it, of course, because I know that most of our audience may not be familiar with you, but you
Yeah.
became an artist overnight.
Yes, sir. Okay. Do you want me to start from the beginning?
Sure. Yeah, wherever you want to start.
Okay. So, I used to be a field engineer, and I used to travel all over the UK fixing beds and hoists and all kinds of things in the hospital, And I had to get all these injections. So I was allowed to work in the hospitals. But anyway, I had this injection. And I think a few days later, I started suffering from pins and needles and nauseousness. And I never suffered that before. I used to be a very sporty person. I played soccer, football for 25 years, played rugby, cricket, triathlons, cross country running. So I used to be very fit, knew nothing about art or anything, never, didn't even know what the Mona Lisa was, that's as much as I knew about art. But in any case, I was at work the one day, and I was suffering from this pins and needles and nauseousness. And my co-worker took me home, and then my girlfriend took me to the hospital, and they described CC tablets for the nauseousness. And as soon as I got home, about 5 minutes later, after taking these tablets, I had a seizure, and I've never had a seizure in my life before. And then suddenly I passed away. I was physically dead, and my girlfriend brought me back, and then I passed away the second time, and the second time was a lot longer, and then came back, and then I passed away again for the third time. And my girlfriend was telling me that, especially the second time, she felt my last breath go. She was on my chest, hit my chest. Don't you die on me and everything, And so it was quite a shock for them. Even my brother was there, and it was such a shock. But anyway, I was in and out of hospital. Then December 2016, I landed back in hospital. And that's the day I found out that I had a stroke, and the day I found out that I've got cancer. And it was already stage 4 because of the size of the tumors, and the cancer is everywhere. And with the seizures I had, They're not sure what caused the seizures. I sort of know. I think it's to do with the injections, but I can't be 100% sure. But so they call it a neurological condition, and so that morning when I woke up. Now I never picked up a pen, um, a paintbrush up before, and that morning I had an edge to draw, and I asked someone for a pencil and paper, and the next minute I started sketching like crazy. But it was so scary because it felt like someone took complete control over my whole body and started drawing for me. My brain was completely blank, but yet there were images coming out of this paper, onto the paper. And there were names, there were signatures, there were, oh gosh, there was all sorts on this paper. And it felt like a spirit came into me, and started drawing. And but anyway, I shared my story, and the media got hold of it. And I've been on Channel 5 News, BBC News, oh gosh, Australia Morning Show, Russia TV, oh, all over the world, newspapers all around the world, radio in the UK. And I was famous for 3.5 years, I think it was. I was in the spotlight. I was doing charity shows. I was part of the Water Rats. We went to the Water Rats, where the Water Rats is a charity, and it's run by Prince Charles. It's run by famous actors and singers. So I met quite a lot of famous people there, and I done markets. And galleries would contact me. Oh, Wayne, your work is so beautiful. Your story is unusual. We need to display your art in the galleries. But unfortunately, I couldn't do the galleries. My condition worsened. The neurological condition went so bad that I have seizures 3-4 hours at a time. The cancers went from low cells to high cells, large cells. So it went very vicious. So I got the cancer that could actually kill you. Um, but anyway, so I started for 6 months. I had no control over what I was doing, and I couldn't even put my own signature on his pictures. And then suddenly things were getting a little better. I started going into color, and I was started to put my own signature on, and yeah, I was selling all over the world. People were buying my artwork for investment. Even famous people like Pat Boone, company like McDonald's. He's got one of my paintings because he saw me on Australia Morning Show, and he asked me to do a big version of the clown. So he's got that in his office. Loads of other, famous people and um, people that I met, at the market, and it's still contacting me now. When we need some more art, and but anyway, years went by, and things were good, but because my condition worsened, because I couldn't do the galleries and that, the painting dried out. I couldn't paint anymore. I was struggling to paint, and then of course I heard about crypto, heard about NFTs. And and then suddenly I started doing NFTs using my original artwork, original paintings, and um, then one day David contacted me, because he heard about my art. He saw my art. David from Destiny World, and he introduced me to Philip from Destiny World. Excuse me. And we got talking, and they actually the people that really encouraged me to do NFTs. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be doing NFTs. So thanks to Destiny World. But anyway, so a few months back, probably about 8 months ago, I think I bought myself a digital tablet, and I started creating NFTs on there, and it's weird because of the brain damage and everything that the neurological caused. I can't use the software. I can't learn the software. So all of my NFTs are hand drawn on one page. Sometimes I double the page, to use the background different. But but anyway, everything is hand drawn. And then one day I thought, oh, I need to do an actual project. And then I thought back because people used to call me skin and bone because of the weight, the amount of weight I've lost, through the cancer. And with a neurological condition where doctors don't know what's going on, they said it's alien-like. So I thought one day, oh, why don't I try and create an alien face with a skeleton body so it will actually look like me. So so anyway, this is how my aliens were created. So and the aliens are to do with my past and my present. So there'll be like a surfer alien. I used to surf. There's a football soccer alien. I used to play football for 25 years. There's a time alien. That's the time I passed away, and so on and so on. And yeah, so Disney World, I send thousands of NFTs to them, and they are starting to promote these NFTs. I think they're doing games, so I'm not 100% sure what they're doing, but yeah, I just let them do their thing. And yeah, that's sort of the story. Oh, and by the way, I also wrote a book. Now I'm dyslexic, I can't read or write properly. But I wrote a book with my girlfriend, proofread it and everything, and yeah, it's out on Amazon, and that's my life story from when I was born up to a few years back, how I became an artist and talking about spirits and all sorts like that. So
Well, I'll
yeah,
make sure to include a link to that in our show notes so our audience can take a look at it and hopefully support you there through the purchase. And wow, like what
thank
what
you.
a story, Wayne. There's so much there, but I want to start by saying like I'm sorry to hear about the diagnosis. I know that a lot of people listening will have people that have probably not dealt with the level that you're dealing with, but maybe know somebody that has, and
Mhm.
it's never a good thing to deal with. So I am sorry to hear that.
No, no, please don't be sorry. Please never be sorry. Because to tell you the truth, because of my dyslexia, I was teased all my life. People used to say, "Ah, Wayne, you stupid, you this, you that." I don't want to say too much bad words, but I was treated very, very bad, and I tried to commit suicide. I stole my dad's car. I tried to drive off the cliff, and I couldn't get work and everything. And okay, I came to the UK, started working there, but the old Wayne is no more. Soon as I got the cancer, as soon as I got the neurological condition, thank goodness I also passed away because it turned me into artist. Maybe that caused it. I don't know, but I can't be more happier. I'm actually living life for the first time. I'm actually grateful that I've passed away. I'm grateful that I've got cancer. I'm grateful I got a neurological condition because it's given me a voice. Oh, by the way, my accent did also change. People think I'm from England, but I'm not originally from England. They think I'm from Ireland or Wales or something like that. Nope, I'm originally from South Africa, so my South African accent is completely gone. So that's why I say I'm a completely different person. I never used to have friends at all. I've got friends all around the world, so can't be more happier.
Well, that's great to hear, and it's a refreshing to have that kind of outlook from somebody that's dealing or dealt with all that you have. So that makes me glad. And you're right, I have this idea, or I've had this idea my entire life that art is something you're either sort of born with or you're not. It's not something that you can learn. And I've been watching a lot of content recently that's sort of suggesting otherwise, that someone can learn how to be an artist, but there's definitely those people that were born with it. But in your case, I think you were reborn with the ability to art after your episode there. But I do want to pull up some of your art for the viewers to show them. We're not talking about like stick figures here. We're talking about insane like fine art paintings that you're doing with like it's not a photorealistic painting in that it's not black and white, but my brain breaks when I try to do
Okay.
colors like this. I can't. I'm a black and white drawer, and that's where I sort of end at. But like, to go from no experience and no real desire to be an artist to painting this type of work and like the diversity within it is incredible. So I'm just, how did you land on like this sort of style of painting as where you wanted to spend your time?
You know, I've got no idea because my girlfriend is a very good artist. You know, she's been taught how to draw and paint and everything, and she is so upset with me because the color just came to me. You know, the style and everything. It's because no one told me, okay, you need to do a square perfect, a round circle perfect. You know what I mean? A building perfect. No one's taught me how to do these things. I just do everything skew. I want I want my work to stand out. You know, to be original. You know, even if I say if I copy, you know, if I see like a picture of Jimi Hendrix, you know, if you look at that photograph and you look at my painting is going to be completely different to the actual image, you know, the photograph, you know, because it's just his face, you know, he's in air, you know, the shading, everything, you know, yeah, it's just I don't know, it just comes to me, you know, and but I don't want to reveal too much because a lot of it's in the book, you know,
That's
and I
fine.
don't want to, yeah, I don't want to share too much of the book, you know, because then people's going to
That's
say,
okay.
"Oh, Wayne, you told us a story about the book," you know. So yeah,
No, no, all good, all good. But I am curious, sort of, how do you starting at a blank canvas? Like, is there something external that inspires you to start, or do you just sort of look at it and you're like, okay, I think I'm going to do this, and you start making brushstrokes, and then it all sort of comes together? Because at least in mine, like I'm trying to detach myself from planning to draw something and actually
yeah.
drawing something, and just let my hand do the work. So I'm
Okay,
curious how you approach even something like a portrait. You know, like what's your method?
okay. If I have to do like, you will see some of them is like a lot of scribbles and things like that, you know. So you know, a lot of times um, I would just say like there's nothing in my brain at all, you know. I would just think one day, get the canvas, okay, okay, I got the canvas in front of me. Just grab any brush because I don't. No one showed me which brush to use or what's the brush name or I don't know, you know. So I would just paint the whole canvas like white, you know. And while the paint is still wet, because I use acrylic paint, I don't use oils or anything. I use acrylics, you know. And so while the paint's still a bit wet, then I would put like a dark blue, and and from the top to the middle, you know, and then because it goes lighter and lighter and lighter, and then from the bottom, I use some more of the same blue, and then I'll go to the middle again. So it looks like a sky and sea, if you know what I mean. Then I'll put like a mountain there. I don't know how to draw mountains. I just draw it, you know. So I just draw a mountain, you know, put some snow on it, you know, white, you know, get some white paint, put some snow on it. And then, oh, before I do the mountain, I'll put clouds first, you know, put clouds in it. Then I'll do the mountain. Then it's like paint on paint on paint, you know. Then I put some trees there, you know, maybe I put a ship there or something in the water, you know, like that type of thing. It just, I don't think of it before I, you know, it comes to me when I start painting, if you know what I mean. Everything just comes to me when I start painting because I don't know what ding dong I'm doing, you know. And that's a God
It's
just
so difficult. No, it's incredible because I think it's difficult for people to not go into something thinking about what it might look like, but then
yeah,
manage to bang out something that has appropriate proportions and you know, the color choices, while they may not be like realistic per se in the, but they match, like they coordinate,
yeah.
like
That's
there's
just
a
my
flow there and
girlfriend.
a continuity. I can imagine why you frustrate so many artists because
Yeah,
it just flows, right?
yeah. Because
Oh man.
no one's taught me, you know, no one's taught me how to, you know. brown and green will get this color, or I've got no idea how, or purple and red will give you this color, or or, I don't know. I've got no idea. I just put colors together and oh, that's nice. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, your pink nose, okay. you know. So that's why my girlfriend is so upset with me, because she's been taught colors, she's been taught this, and this, and it just naturally comes to me. And yeah, a lot of artists are very upset with me.
It's hard though, because like, so for me, I use my world frame of reference, and that's how I sort of look at things. But you seem to have the ability to just shut that off and just say, okay, now forget what it's supposed to look like, forget how everybody thinks it looks like,
Yeah.
what's going to happen here, and you just roll with it, and then it turns out beautiful in the end, which is that's a talent. I think that's not skill, that's a talent.
Yeah. It's the same with I do portraits. I do a portrait like I look at something and I do it in pencil first, and then I show them the picture whatever way, or put it one side, and then I just do my own thing, if I want shading, or if I want a green, half a green cheek, or you know what I mean, like a red forehead, or it just all comes to me, and then then when I look, oh, okay, that looks okay, and then I look at the picture again. Oh no, it doesn't look like him, so I have to change something there we are. you know Everything just falls to place as soon as I start painting. It just falls into place. And
That's
it's pretty
that's the dream.
scary. It's pretty
I can
scary
imagine. But
because
so
yeah,
go
because
ahead.
to be very honest with you, even today I've got no idea what I'm doing. Because no one's showed me, and a lot of artists will say to me, "Why don't you go for lessons? Why don't you go?" No, because I used to play very good golf. I was a very good golfer. So someone told me to go for lessons. I went for lessons. Now I can't play golf. So maybe the same thing's gonna happen if I, go for lessons for the art, where everything's going to change. So no.
You know what though?
I
I
just
think you've found an aesthetic that's unique to you, and it flows off your hand. And anything beyond that would be someone you trying to force yourself to do something someone else's way. And if this is working for you, then and you're having fun doing it, I think that's all that matters in the end.
Yeah, absolutely there. Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah,
Even though
that's great.
I can't say I'm struggling to paint at the moment, but at least I've got the tablet to draw on. So
I'm curious about those tablets because, like, so I don't know if you know normally how NFTs are constructed, but it's usually a bunch of different layers, and then they'll just change the hat on whatever the image is. You'll have like 60 different hats, but you're
yeah,
hand drawing all of these, so you have
yeah,
to go back and redraw the whole thing with a new hat
yeah,
before it can
yeah,
become an NFT, which is, but so that just takes us sort of into digital art and even things like AI art. Like, I don't know, I don't know that I've dove in enough to actually give a proper opinion on it, but I like the creating, the physical, like me creating
yeah,
something
yeah.
versus punching things in the computer. I'm kind of like, where are you on that sort of topic?
You know, a lot of people came to me and said to me, "Wayne, why don't you do AI?" No, sorry. AI art is very good for people that want to draw, but they can't draw. I know there's not such thing as can't. Because I've got a art class where I encourage people to draw. And I always say to them, you can draw. If you pick up that pencil and put it to paper, you're really an artist. Just try and draw. And I would, when I come back and say, "Oh, wait, look what I created!" And some of them good, some of them not good. But I treat everybody the same. I praise everybody the same because it gives that encouragement. But with for people that really struggle with that, AI's probably good for them. They can create, talk to AI, and then AI will create everything for you. But to me, it's not art. It is art, but it's not art for me because I didn't create it. I just spoke to the machine, and the machine created for you. So you and then they go sell it. They some people make loads and loads of money out of AI. And it's taking away work from professional artists, that does stuff on canvases and yeah. But I can't really complain because it's giving business to people that really struggle with life,
Yeah.
and but yet it's taking work away from me, if you know what I mean. So
Well, some of the AI art that I've seen, it's more like image composition more than what I would call traditional art, right? It's pulling
yeah,
elements from a variety of different and then overlaying them all, which is there's nothing wrong with that, but
no,
my
no,
monkey brain would then want to take that scene and recreate it as a painting or as a pencil drawing or as something. Like
yeah,
that would be sort of a foundation, but I wouldn't call that the finished piece. But I do understand that some people need to sort of work through the process and
yeah,
figure out, they'll probably say we're wrong because what is art? Art is subjective. Art is whatever we
yeah,
say art
yeah,
is. It's just I personally, I whether it be pottery or drawing or painting or
yeah,
woodworking or whatever, I like the my hands-on feel, and that's not even just not even discounting digital art. I think digital art is wonderful if it's
yeah,
been drawn like on a tablet. Like I looked at those Wacom, I think they're called. They're phenomenal tools. Like they're really really
yeah.
cool, and I probably plan to get one for at least my daughter at some point. But to just pull stuff from the internet and stick it into a picture that has become AI art, I'm not convinced that's the final product.
Yeah, I'm not convinced on it neither, but my head goes off to the people that do struggle in life, and that's the only thing you can do. And people come to me and they'll say, "Oh, Wayne, look what I created out of AI." No, you didn't create that. The machine. You spoke to a software or whatever you speak to, and that created it for you. You might have it might be the only one in the world that looks like that, but you didn't create it. The machine actually, or the software actually created it for you. You just created it in your mind, but you didn't actually physically draw it.
I
So
think the art might be in the code, in the person that
yeah,
actually built
yeah,
the software that could pull that together.
yeah, yeah. But a lot of these AIs, the people didn't do the codes. They didn't create the AI themselves. They just talk into whatever AI they get, whatever software they get. And yeah, I tried it once before. I said to them, "Okay, create me a surfing alien," and it will create me a surfing alien, but it's not me. No, I just deleted it straight away. And deleted the software as well. So yeah, I'd rather sometimes when I go to bed, I'll dream about, not really dream, but sort of these pictures will come into my head, and I quickly have to get out of bed and quickly draw it. Now that is creation. That is art to me. Where it comes straight from you. So original. Where even some of the like David Bowie and things like that, it's copy draw. It's not my original. It's a face from a face. If even though it is original and I've changed it the way I want it. I done it in my style, so it is original, but it's still someone's face. Where the aliens are my own creations. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean, and I'm on two paths right now trying to figure out how to draw like full figures in various poses and whatnot, but also photorealism in faces. And I don't think that's cheating, right? It's someone has a
No.
face, you want to draw it. That's the
Yeah.
way it goes, right? So you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
working
No,
off
it's
a
not
photo
cheating. Yeah.
reference as opposed to them having them in your room, right?
Yeah. No, because even the 1800s, they used to trace. They
Exactly.
used to photoject objects onto the walls and that in the 1800s, maybe even earlier than that. So that's not. It's not cheating in a way. But if art, lot of professional artists, a lot of very very famous artists, they still do it today. They trace work. Because they want to get the proportions right. And then they put it one side and they just do their own thing, their own way of style, of painting. That's not cheating at all. No, not at all.
I, there was this documentary I watched years ago on Netflix, and I'm not sure if it's still there. And I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the name of it, but it was basically a guy that was trying to recreate Renaissance style painting that didn't know how to paint at all. And he was
Yeah,
arguing that there was this device that you could put that used a series of mirrors against a still life that then you could end up looking down that would basically project the image downward, and then you would just paint on top of it and like match the colors up. And like it was fascinating to see, because the stuff that he produced was like it was from, the 1700s, and but he had no skills otherwise. He was like an engineer, and he used, you know his knowledge of lenses and mirrors to make a
Yeah.
realistic interpretation of.
Yeah, that's awesome because he probably had the the art um, uh, background in his head.
Mhm.
Even though he wasn't an artist, he probably physically done artwork. Like making things and things like that. So he put that into an image on canvas or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
people
great.
people are pretty creative when they want
Yeah,
to pursue something, right?
yeah,
But they just have to
absolutely.
afford themselves the time to do it. I find, if you're not consistent about something, especially if you're not naturally talented at something, then the skill falls off and you sort of don't see the progress that gives you that little
Yeah,
dopamine hit to then continue the process and get better and better. So you got to carve out the time. You can't assume that if you're making dinner with the TV on in the background and you're holding a notepad that you're going to produce anything of quality, because you're not focused on it, right? And it's a trouble I see with modern society in general, is just everyone's go, 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 busy, 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 but they don't create white space within their day or their week or their month to, craft that time that they can pursue something, solid with it, if that makes any sense.
yeah. No, it makes 100% sense. It's like when I used to work. I used to work like 70 odd hours a week. And I used to love work, but I always had time to do a hobby. To build something. So yeah, no, you got to make time for yourself. If you got interested on anything, because like when I struggled to be able to paint on canvas, and I thought, I was really really struggling, and I thought, oh, I need a new hobby. And the thing is, you can achieve a lot in this world if you put your mind to it. Yes, me got cancer, brain damage, and everything, but I still try and create something new. And I thought one day, oh, why not I try and refurbish my own guitars? And I've never worked on guitar, never played a guitar. I've never had a guitar in my hand before or nothing like that. So yeah, I ordered all these broken up guitars, put them all together, bought new, of course, new parts for it, put my stamp on it, like paintwork and everything. And I done some like 16 guitars, and only one doesn't play perfect because I glued the necking wrong. But no one showed me how to do it. I just like figured everything myself, or went onto YouTube, because there's a lot on YouTube where you can go on, and if you're not sure of doing something, if you're not sure how to paint, everything's there on YouTube. So yeah, I just looked on there. Okay, this wire goes there. So done the threadboard and everything. Done the strings. The tuners, everything. Tuned everything in. Played the guitar. Oh, even though I can't play, I just you get those things on your app, don't you? Your phone app, where you can tune the guitar in and everything.
Yep.
And yeah, only because I remember giving one to I went to the pub one day, and I asked one of the band members to play this guitar. He wanted to take it home. You see, this guitar's the best guitar played.
Oh my
But
god.
I put a different body and a different neck together, and it wasn't cheap. But so it was two different parts, and it plays beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So that's why I say, you can achieve a lot in this world. People must just say, don't say can't, because it's not such word as can't. You can achieve a lot. You probably won't be as good as the people that been to college and things like that. You definitely won't be as good as them, but you will achieve a third or even less than a third of, whatever you want to achieve. So yeah, they must just try
That's
and do it.
a valuable
Yeah,
message. I think a lot of people use the word can't when they should say I don't know how, or
yeah,
even I don't want to, right? And just be honest about it. But you're right about YouTube. It's incredible, like what kind of resources people are putting out for free, basically. So the excuse of I don't know how to do something is it's almost gone these days because at your fingertips, you have access to everything. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there's something that you want to pursue, I think people can do it. But a while back, you mentioned, you love helping people that are either less fortunate or they're in a situation similar to yours. And you're a bit of an animal when it comes to Twitter Spaces. I'm not going to lie. So I'm curious, sort of. So Wayne runs what, two a day usually, one or two a day at least, but they're hours
Oh,
long. And I like,
yeah.
how did you get into Twitter Spaces in the first place? And what are some of the recurring themes that have come up in the conversations that you have on there?
Oh gosh. So, it, it was I think it was a few years back. When I first became an artist, I joined Twitter, but I was never on it. It only happened last year that I started really going onto Twitter. And I was going onto these sites where they talk about the project, they talk about NFTs, but I never spoke about my projects at all. I just told the story how I became an artist and things like that. And then I thought one day, why don't I just run my own Twitter page, Twitter space? And that's what I did. I had to, no, I didn't ask anybody, okay, how do you do this? I just learned it on my own, how to do everything. But anyway, there's a lot of things. When I first started with that, I used to um, bring people in to talk about the projects, talk about NFTs and things like that. And then I start with after that. Then I start with music. Getting the music community together. Because they started doing NFTs as well. And then now it's starting with aliens, getting people together that speak about alien space, the unknown. Because I've got so many questions. Why did I become an artist? Why did my girlfriend save my life? Why this? Why that? Why did it feel like there was loads and loads of spirits with me, guiding me, took over my body, started drawing, But I don't want to reveal too much of that because it's all in the book.
It's in the book. That's
Um,
okay.
yeah. So and lot of times people come there and they are so depressed. They are so depressed. And as soon as they hear my story, and as soon as they could see or hear how happy I am, how much I'm loving life, and I don't want people to worry and to, to be too concerned of me. They must look after number one, and number one is themselves, And I encourage a lot of people to say, you know, if you got a nice long mirror, go stand in front of that mirror, right? You see your reflection. Your reflection stares back at you. Now laugh at your reflection, and you see your reflection laugh back at you, and you will laugh even more. And I will say, laughter is the best medicine a person can get. And doctors can give you chemo, they can give you this, can give you that. You can take so many. If you don't have laughter and music in your life, then you might as well say goodbye to the world. Because you'll be miserable, you'll be, beating yourself up every single day. So yeah, so I encourage all these people on my spaces, just to be happy, and I let people talk amongst each other. I'm just there to host. Um, I'm there to have a space for them to come there and talk about whatever knowledge they have, or if they want to cheer each other up, that's space for it, and that's why I run these spaces, just to help people if they want to go and start a project. I'll get the right people to help them, and that type of thing.
Twitter Spaces are. I'm increasingly impressed with the education that you can get from Twitter Space, but also the exposure to different points of view and just different people in general. Like I've joined a few of yours now and made some connections in music specifically because that's an interest of mine, and we'll probably ultimately end up getting them on the show for it. But I think it's it's really good that you just host. You let people say their piece. You let people come
Yeah,
together, and your idea is like, okay, let's get better together. Because, my mother actually is a big proponent of multimodality sort of healing, of all varieties. But I think you're right about laughter being a solid medicine. I think people have too much stress in their lives and they have
yeah,
no way to let it go. But when you find that social connection with somebody that's sort of either in a similar place or has been there before and is willing to hear you out, I think it's hugely empowering when you're trying to recover from something.
yeah. Because okay, I went through my last chemo. I forgot how long ago, but you know, it's reduced a lot of the tumors. It's got rid of a lot of the tumors, and so I'm stable at the moment. Now they thinking of doing a stem cell transplant. Now the reason why they're not going to do it now, they're going to wait till the cancer spreads again, and it will spread again. It will go vicious. The deadly cancer will come and try and get rid of me, but it won't. I won't allow it. By any case, so they're going to wait till that, and then they're going to give me the strongest chemo a person can take, so it kills absolutely everything, and I'll be locked up in a room for 4 weeks where I can't go out or nothing. So they don't want, to get germs or things like that, because it is quite a dangerous procedure.
Hmm.
So yeah, so they're gonna wait for all that, and am I gonna go for it? Probably, yeah, because I wanna live here for at least another 20, 30 years. I don't want to go anywhere.
That's good to hear. I mean, you're passionate about a lot of things and your enthusiasm comes through. So you would want to milk that for all it's worth for as long as you can. I totally respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I don't want to lose all the friendship I've made, or even on Twitter Spaces, me meeting all these famous people, around the world, and oh gosh, all the media things that I'm actually on, and yeah, I don't want to go anywhere, I want to, it's like. It's like when I was still selling my artwork, when I was still able to sell it, where people were buying investments, my artwork for investments, and I thought, why you say you want to buy it for investment, and then they tell me, and I said, all these like the Mona Lisa and all that, all the artists, I don't know, many names of the famous artists and things like that, but all these famous artists only became famous when they passed away. Wayne, you're really famous. So what's gonna happen when you pass away? How much of this artwork is gonna be worth?
Oh my
That's why
God.
I'm buying my work for invest. That's why I'm buying your artwork for investment. So
Jeez. It's
yeah,
like, thanks for the beautiful work. Hope it goes up in value soon. Like, oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough because you should be appreciated for the work while you're around to be appreciated for it. It shouldn't happen
Oh no,
after.
they thought.
Okay,
Oh no,
good.
they do appreciate. That's the reason why they actually buy it. But they don't buy one; they buy a few. So it's for the kids and the grandchildren and all that, so they can appreciate it. But if something does happen that they do need the money, they got an investment to be able to take the grandchild to the hospital, or you know what I mean. You know?
Yeah.
So
So what's next then for you? Obviously, treatment is ongoing, and even though you're stable,
yeah.
you're always keeping an eye out for that. For what are you hoping to achieve over the next 1 or 2 years? We'll say.
Um, I think that the most important thing that I need to do is to try and get my strength back. Um, I have joined the gym because I want to go to the gym just to go on not to do the weights and look like bloody Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. No, no, just to get my strength back. My fitness, my breathing, everything. Because I've been bedridden for 6 years. I've got a wheelchair, some because of the seizures I have and everything, and need to be pushed around the hospital, everything in a wheelchair and that. So my goal is to get my strength back. Unfortunately, I can't. Even though I signed up for a year, I haven't been using the gym. I've been there like 3 or 4 times, but I just discovered I've got a frozen shoulder as
Okay.
well, and the pain is severe. You know, I've broken my arm before, I've broken my leg before, but the pain of the frozen shoulder is worse pain that I've ever felt. You know, and also I've got emphysema because I had the virus. You know, so it left me with emphysema, and I've also got a hernia. So I'm like a walking corpse there. You know.
But you're still walking and you're still
But
trying to
I'm
get to the
still
gym, which
walking.
is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's
So
I found in my own life exercise is sort of a positive feedback loop. It's tough at first, but things get easier with progression, and then things start
yeah.
resolving because you're improving. So it's good. You just got to draw a line in the sand somewhere and be like, all right, this is the worst it's going to get, and now I'm going to move forward from it.
Absolutely, Lisa. Absolutely, you know. And that's why I have to wait. You know, with the frozen shoulder, it's probably going to take about 2 years to heal, or maybe even longer, you know. I don't know. But I need to push myself and just bite the pain a bit and maybe go on the treadmill or the bicycle or something, you know, just to get or go for walks because I haven't been doing none of that, you know. You know, the neurological condition with the seizures, it's coming on quite strong again. You know, it's not doing too good at the moment. Um, but you know, life goes on.
You do what you can with what you've got, right? Which seems to be exactly
Yeah,
how you're handling everything.
yeah, absolutely. You know, there's worse people out there than me. So yeah, I just have to most of it, you know, and help those people if I can, you know, because I like to help people more. I know you're supposed to help yourself before you can help people, because if you don't help yourself, how are you going to help those people? But but you know, I passed away 3 times. I'm actually I shouldn't be here. So I rather help them before I help myself because I'm like in borrowed time. You know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but sometimes some people are sort of drive their satisfaction from helping other people. So in helping others,
Yeah.
you're actually helping
Yep.
yourself too, right?
Yep. Yeah. That's why I'm doing the Twitter Spaces. That's why I've got that art thing on Telegram. You know, where we encourage people to draw their own thing because there's a lot of people, unfortunately, and sometimes we need these people that steal other people's work, you know, go and rent other people's work. It just puts a person on their toes, you know. We have to have, you know, horrible things out there because if everybody was the same, life would be boring, you know. So yeah,
That it would.
you got to be you got to be on your toes too, and you need to think for yourself, you know. You shouldn't let other people think for you because you know it could be the wrong thing, you know.
Very
So
true. But it is important to sort of see other people's perspective as well
oh
and
yeah,
then understand their side of things and then formulate your own opinions based on all
yeah,
of the stuff that you've sort of accumulated in terms of knowledge. But that's what platforms like Twitter do. And it's more so now, I think, than it has been ever before, ever since the change of leadership there. I think that's been a strong benefit for Twitter. But what I always find weird about the internet in particular is you'll have a Telegram group of people who are effectively strangers to you, right? But they feel like
mhm,
friends, right? Because they've kind of assembled under a common, either interest or goal or something. And it's still a little mind blowing to me that you can make connections with people across the world, call them your friend, even though you've
yeah,
never even potentially met them or seen what they
yeah.
even look like, because we almost all use avatars. It's a weird world right now, but it's cool.
Yeah, yeah, you know, yeah, I've met so many people, you know, on Twitter Spaces, you know, and yeah, I can call him my friend, you know, my good friends and that. But you know, there's a lot of people being hurt through Twitter, you know, and they thought, oh, Wayne, I thought this was my friend and everything, and yeah, he's done this and he's done that, and he managed to steal all my money, and you know, so I just tell people, you know, don't trust anybody. If you can't see their face, if you see the avatar and there's no picture of them, how do you know it's that person? How do you know? it's John talking to you when you don't know, you haven't seen the picture, you haven't physically met him, or so only person you trust is yourself. you know if you feel there's something wrong, trust your instincts and walk away. you know
It's sad that you have to come at this sort
yeah,
of thing with suspicion, but even so, as my channel has grown and as my Twitter following starts to grow, I've noticed that like popular influencers have started to follow me, but then you click on their profile and it's like 5 followers. So it's just a
yeah,
fake account that uses somebody else's name. So you do need to
yeah,
be diligent in who you're interacting with online.
yeah.
I
You
feel
got to be
I
very
feel
careful.
for my kids. Like I don't, they're gonna have to grow up sort of understanding these rules and knowing what to look for, and it's complex, right? Especially for people that didn't have this when they were younger. They're trying to navigate it now.
Yeah, you know, when I was growing up, and probably yourself as well, when we were growing up, and there was no computers and things like it. Technology is absolutely beautiful. We can watch TV. You know, we can come and like on Twitter Spaces, talk to each other, like what we're doing now, face to face communication. That wasn't there before. Or maybe it was, but I was into sports. I wasn't into anything else. But yeah, it's just it's nice bringing the world together, because like here's me talking to someone, and someone's in Australia. They are like 8 hours behind, or I'm talking to someone in the future. And it's unbelievable. But yeah, people just need to be very wise out there. And yeah, just try and yeah, try and use your brain, and or if sometimes when you do something and you think, and something in your head says, no, that's wrong, go with that. Don't ignore that, just go with that. And yeah, so I'm not
Wise
going to say too
advice.
much because I love
No,
people.
no, that's fine. It's funny when I'm booking guests for this podcast. Almost the second, like the first or second question I ask is, "What time zone are you in?" Because there's people from all walks of life, from 4 corners of the earth. I've been up at like 3 a.m. my time to try and connect with somebody in Thailand who's I think 13 or 14 hours
Yeah.
different from me, and we're trying to find a time that works for both of us, right? So
Yeah.
it can be tricky, but it's also amazing that you can have that sort of exposure to different people, different cultures, but still have sort of similar interests. It's I think it ultimately it shrinks the world, right? It makes everything feel like a smaller place.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think that's the main reason why I do the Twitter Spaces. Because not it's to be very honest, it actually builds up my confidence. Because of all the teasing I had in the past. Where people used to call me all these names and everything. And um, of course, when I passed away and all that, and when it was like being reborn. It's given me a new voice, even though it's a weird accent that it's given me. But it's taken away my proper talking voice. But anyway, I just I just love meeting people. I love, like, I have these music spaces, where I listen to all these beautiful people that sing and play guitar, and I think, oh my gosh, I wish I was like. No, I don't wish I was like that, because I'm my own person. I'm a painter. I'm a professional artist now, and yeah, so I can dream to be like them, but I will never be like them, because I'm me.
And that's all you should be. If
Yeah,
nothing else, just be authentic to who you are. And it's not to say you
yeah,
can't try other things or pursue other interests or
absolutely.
whatnot, but if you know what you want out of life, there's no sense in trying to be everything to everybody else, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's like, I remember this one person came to me when I was doing the art thing on Telegram, and he came to me, and he said to me, Wayne, I can't draw, I can't do this. And of course, I said to him, it's not as well as can't, But I said to him, just go out there and draw something. So he came back, and uh, it wasn't good at all. Seriously, it wasn't good. But I really praised him. I said to him, okay, I tell you what, okay, you really need to practice on, even if you go on Google and there's a lot of things on there where you can copy draw because there's no copyrights to it. So it's a lot of things, but make sure you do it in your own style. So say there's like a triangle, make it a red triangle, or make it a circle, or a square or something. Just make it completely different to put it into your style, of work. But anyway, he showed me this, and I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna create 10 NFTs for you using this, and I, I've made 10 NFTs for him. Got back to him, sent it to him, and he loved it and everything, and he said, I don't know how to mint it. So I got the right people to show him how to mint it and everything. He came back to me and said, Wayne, thank you so much for doing this, blah blah blah. And I sold all my NFTs and everything. And I said, no, don't thank me. Pat yourself on the back. You're the one who done this. You're the one who got I just showed you the path, but you're the one who listened to these people, created your account, everything. You're the one who drew this image. I just pushed it. I just helped you turn it into NFTs. So yeah, just pat yourself on the back, they say. And that's the type of thing I do, just to get confidence in people, because the confidence in people is I can see it when I do the Twitter spaces. People don't have confidence anymore within themselves. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to. I don't want people to be treated the way I was treated, even when I was in hospital. Because I was slapping my words. People, doctors thought I was drunk. I was full of drugs. I collapsed on the floor the one day. They swept around me. They left me on the floor. Doctors and nurses were laughing at me because they thought I was drunk or drugs. Full of drugs. In a way, I don't blame it, but you shouldn't laugh at anybody. You
No.
shouldn't. And and they actually chased me out of the hospital. Now, I don't want anybody to be treated the way I was treated. Now, that's why I host these spaces, to just bring joy to people, to say, no, it's not such work as can't. Just try and do it, try and create something in your mind, or even if you have to copy draw or whatever, just try and do something, and you will see it will all flow together. So,
Wow. And that's why you're a beacon of positivity and people flock to you, because that's the type of energy that you're putting out. So
yeah.
congratulations, like truly.
And that's why a lot of people put their take their hats off for me, because I think, Wayne, you can't have cancer, you can't have a neurological, look how full of joy you are and everything. And I said, no, I got to. If I don't do this, I might as well say goodbye. I'll probably be dead tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So that's why I do it. And I love helping people as well, because there was no one there to help me. I had to learn everything. I couldn't even read, I couldn't even spell cat when I was like 36 years old. That's how bad my dyslexia was. And because of all the teasing, I just didn't want to learn. I just want, I can read all, a letter, I can spell a letter. I've got a app on my phone where I talk to it, and it spells everything for me. Sometimes I don't know what I'm reading, but it's my life. I have to live with it. And yeah, I'm not going to lose sleep over what I can't help. So
That's a great outlook and a good place to put this one. So before we wrap, I just want to know if there's any final words you had for the audience. But thank you, Wayne. This was such an interesting conversation, and I really enjoyed you sharing your story.
Thank you, there, sir. This was very very lovely, and yeah, thank you so much. And I just want people to enjoy life. Life is very short for us all. Not just for me. Someone can walk around the corner and get struck by lightning or knocked by a car or something. So just enjoy life to the fullest and have laughter in your life, please. Okay. Thank you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, Wayne.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Wayne, you are an absolute legend. Your kindness and compassion really shines through, and I appreciate that you're willing to help those in need, even though you're probably the guy that could use it the most. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with me. If anyone wants to learn more about Wayne, please purchase his book through the Amazon link in the show notes below, or join one of his Twitter spaces where I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you directly. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, that you've liked this video, and that you've left me a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. We are on the mission to get this thing to 1,000 subs, so please spread the word about the Rad Dal podcast. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell whoever. I appreciate it, they'll appreciate it, and the Rad fam will grow because of it. With that, fam, I hope that you have a great weekend, and until next time, keep it rad. The Rad Dal podcast is produced for entertainment and education purposes only. I know this because I'm not a licensed financial advisor. If you're thinking of investing in any of the tokens talked about during this episode, then I implore you to please do your own due diligence, and if necessary, consult with a licensed financial advisor.